Hello chess family, it's me Nestle Master Jesse James. It's time for another instructive chess miniature. In this one we're going to be seeing another game from Judit Polgar. Let's get started. As you guys know, she's one of the best attacking players in chess history, at least in my opinion. And well, she's going to be proving it this game with a very beautiful but basic idea of opening up the H-file. Here we go. E4, E6, let's crush the French. D4, D5, knight to C3, the Paulson variation. Knight f6 attacks the pawn, and here bishop to g5. I typically like to play the idea of e5, which is the most common move here, or the top move that typically gets played. But here I'm going to have to take a look at this bishop g5 idea, and well, simple idea, just pinning and hopefully trying to open up some files here. Black's definitely open to this and goes ahead and plays d takes on e4, knight takes on e4, bishop to e7, and here bishop takes on f6. A very nice idea here. A lot of times we do this, we're trying to make the h7 pawn weak, and this is exactly what happens in this game. Bishop takes on f6, knight to f3, castles kingside, and queen to d2 here. Here, Judith is definitely saying, hey, I might not castle kingside to keep the game regular. I might be castling queenside over here and just sending all my pawns up forward and just going for the attack. Remember, in opposite side castling, the best plan is to send your pawns forward and hopefully trade off the G pawn for the H pawn, and then put your rooks over here. And here you can see that this will be just a perfect strategy. Vice versa, the best strategy for black will be, again, pushing the pawns forward, trading off the A pawn and the B pawn, and then sliding your rook over here to attack the vulnerable king. All right, well, black went ahead and played knight to D7, keep developing. Here, well, let's send it, castling queenside. Here, her motives are very much known at this point. Who will get to the king first? Black played bishop e7 here, trying to keep this bishop and maybe play something like knight f6 to trade off pieces. Remember, this knight is one of the best defenders for the weak h7 square, which h7 is the weakest square whenever you're castled kingside, or h2 whenever you're white. All right, well, let's keep getting our pieces out. Bishop d3, definitely looking over here to attack on the h7 pawn. Black played pawn to b6, a sensible move here, although I can't say I like it the most. Here, black is definitely putting himself up into a defensive mode here, because, well, again, a5, b5, something like this. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Here, the idea of b6 was to develop the bishop, and, well, I guess maybe put pressure down this diagonal. All right, here we go. Knight e to g5, the h7 point is being attacked now, and black goes ahead and plays pawn to h6. Here, there's many moves that you can try here, but there's two main moves that you can play. Can you find the two main moves or ideas here that white will play in this position? Hope you push pause, hope you try to figure it out. Here, we're not asking for concrete lines, but what are the two main ideas or moves in this position? Here, you can go for the attack with bishop h7 check like she does in the game. Or you can try to go for the fishing pole trap and play something like pawn to h4, something I probably would have done myself. But we're going to see her line is a bit superior in this way. She goes ahead and plays bishop h7 check first, king to h8, and then plays the bishop e4, a nice little tempo move against the rook. Why did she do this? Well, here she's trying to get the king over to the h-file so that, well, whenever we do play the idea of pawn to h4, when the pawn takes back, the rook will then be attacking the king right away. And you can see this is a very nice idea because, again, you got a free tempo on the king going to h8, but also you got a free tempo against the rook over here on a8. Okay, well, here black went ahead and took on g5, and here, well, this is the famous or the most important move in this game, the blocking move. Here, most people here are just going to take on a8, which is winning and not, not terribly great, but it is a move nonetheless. With that being said, she finds a way to open up the h-file. White to move. Figure out this very nice idea. How do you force open the h-file here? All right. Hopefully you tried to figure it out. Here, playing h4. Of course, any strong player knows that whenever you do these kind of moves, your opponent will just play something like g4. It doesn't matter if you lose the g-pawn. It's all about keeping this h-file closed here. So what do you do to make h4 work? Simple chess. Take the move away. Here, Judith plays the amazing blocking move, a pawn to g4 here, with the idea that now h4 is coming and there's no way to stop this from happening. All right, here black tried rook b8, and here we get to play pawn to h4, forcing open up the h-file. Pawn to g6 here, pawn takes on g5 check, and king to g7. And this is black's idea. Black is hoping that they should be able to move the rook over to the h-file. Let's just trade everything off, and well, there shouldn't be any attack left to go. All right, we definitely need this queen over on the king side, so here a nice maneuver. Queen to f4 with the idea of going back to h2. Bishop to b7. And then here, Another beautiful idea, never losing a tempo. Of course, Judith will not miss these kind of ideas. These are so second nature to her. Rook to h7 check. Can't we just play the queen over to h2 here? Here, this will not work out. Remember, the rook just slides over to the h file. And here, well, you're just going to be trading off pieces here. So here, she needs the extra tempo. So here, she played rook to h7 check. King takes, queen h2 check. And here, the king has to go to either g7 or to g8, both being bad here. In the game, she goes ahead and just plays king g8 because, well, king g7 is simply answered with queen h6 check, king g8, and then she can slide the rook over here to force this checkmating idea. Oof. Well, king g8 got played, and the same thing gets played, rook to h1, and here black only has one defensive resource. Here, bishop takes on g5 check, and here we have to take on g5. Well, I wouldn't say we have to, but it is the best way to play. If you do not take and play something like king b1, here king g7, and here we see that the escape route is king to f6. Here I think black's going to be winning in this kind of position. Well, let's not let them escape. Here we go ahead and play knight takes on g5, queen takes on g5, and now for the stunner, pawn to f4. At this point, the queen's being attacked, and now you have the checkmate score of h7 and h8 here. So there's nothing really good to do here. You just have to sacrifice your queen, so you might as well get a pawn for it. Queen takes on f4 check, queen takes, bishop takes, queen takes, and well, at this point, black just went ahead and resigned. It might seem a little too premature, as you have the two rooks over here canceling out the queen, and the knight for the rook, and well, you got some pawns over here. But here, as far as the lines goes, white's just always going to have very strong attacking ideas. Even simple moves like g5, queen h4 is just going to leave black just too hungry in this position. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this game. We'll see you in the next one.